This is a second stimulus check update. In this video, I'll go over what we know as of now in terms of how much, who's eligible, and the timeline, as well as a new Democratic proposal of $350 billion and some other updates as well. First, let's start with some interesting news. So yesterday, 100 Republicans and Democrats sent a letter to the IRS asking to fix the stimulus payment problem. So this is in regards to the first stimulus check. Around 160 million people received that first stimulus check. We don't know how many more people did not receive it, but the letter was basically saying, pointing out all the different issues that happened with this first round. And these are the four representatives, so it was 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, so it's good to see both sides working together on something. And basically, they were talking about how a lot of people didn't receive their first stimulus check, as well as get that $500 per dependent. The IRS's response was basically nothing, that anyone who wants to get their stimulus check, if they didn't get it already, then they're going to have to wait until they file their 2021 tax or 2020 taxes in the year 2021. Now, in regards to the second stimulus check, I found this to be interesting news as well. Last night, Fox Business published this. Steven Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, Larry Kudlow, White House economic advisor, in epic clash over next stimulus package. A White House divided. And then it also says a civil war is taking place inside the White House between Steven Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow. The reason why I'm laughing is because this is just a little too dramatic and it's very sensational. This is way overhyped for what it actually is. Let me break this down for you and let you know what's going on. So Larry Kudlow just basically wants payroll tax cut to be part of the plan. He wants the payroll tax holiday and elimination of payroll tax. And then Steve Mnuchin is pushing for another round of individual stimulus checks and extension of unemployment benefits in the next package. That's it. That's the only difference in opinions. There's no clash, there's no war, there's no boxing match. That's all there is to it. If we look at the big picture of what's really going on, it really doesn't matter what Steve Mnuchin wants or Larry Kudlow because they are not the key players. The only 3 key players in determining how much, when, and all that with the second stimulus package is the House of Representatives, Senate, and the President. Those are the only 3 key players. Larry Kudlow, Steve Mnuchin, they're just cheerleaders trying to influence, or not even trying to, just stating their opinions, but they could only influence any laws being made. It's only those 3 key players that could actually make something happen. Another person offering opinion but doesn't really matter much in terms of the second stimulus check is Jim Cramer from Mad Money. He's the guy who kind of screams about stocks going up or down. Pretty funny, but he says that we desperately need another round of federal stimulus despite vaccine progress. Basically, he looks at the market, sees what's going on, and he feels the need for another stimulus check as well. And a recent update that just came out yesterday, the Democrats proposed $350 billion in aid for minority communities in the next stimulus package coming up. So more specifically, it is $135 billion for jobs, healthcare, mental health, and primary care, and then another $250 billion for infrastructure, homeowner down payment tax credit, and expanding Medicaid. This is called the Economic Justice Act, and it was pointing out a few facts in terms of the coronavirus disease. So in June, it found that African Americans had a hospitalization rate 5 times higher than whites, and then Latinos were hospitalized at a rate 4 times higher than the white population. All this is at the moment is just a proposal, nothing official yet. They're gonna have to negotiate this with the Republicans to see how they could work this in the next bill. And if you appreciate the time, energy, and research that goes into making this video, please hit the like button down below. It helps out the channel. And if you want more second stimulus check updates, subscribe to the channel and I'll give you the latest updates. Now let's answer 3 important questions. How much will a second stimulus check be, when you will get it, and who is eligible? To answer how much, President Trump wants it to be greater than $1,200. The Democrats proposed a $1,200 one-time payment, and Senate Republicans want it to be less than $1,200. So we'll have a better idea when Senate Republicans get back from vacation and they start talking about different numbers. Mitch McConnell said that he is going to release specific data and information in regards to how much with the second stimulus check the week of July 20th. So stay tuned for that. In terms of who's eligible, I get a lot of questions, SSI, SSDI, veterans. So in terms of the general population, everyone is eligible for the second stimulus check. In terms of income cap, Senate Republicans threw out the number of $40,000 or less. But all that is still speculation. We won't know up until next week officially, because those are just words said in the media. Until we see an actual document that has those numbers on it, we won't know for sure. Now let's talk about when you could expect to see a second stimulus check. So if we look here at the schedule, so the week of July 13th to 17th, which is this week, Senate is on vacation, and both the Senate and House of Representatives are getting back in the same building July 20th to July 24th, which is this upcoming week, which means that's when the actual negotiations will start. Now, the issue here is that they have just 2 weeks together to make something happen. But then the third week, the House of Representatives are going on vacation. Nancy Pelosi said that she's willing to not go on vacation to get something done. So in terms of getting a second stimulus check, it depends on the Democrats and Republicans negotiating, coming to an agreement. Once that agreement is made, people will probably see that second stimulus check 2 weeks from when it's signed by the House of Representatives, Senate, and the President, then 2 weeks from that moment. Some other factors that could speed things up or even make the second stimulus check higher than $1,200 would be the recent resurgence of the virus. So California is now shutting down the state again. So we went through this first shutdown and the government said we're not going to have another shutdown. But with numbers rising, California is the first state to actually shut down. And Texas is saying that there is no shutdown coming, although Texas Governor Greg Abbott was saying that people need to wear masks, and if they don't wear masks, then there could be a shutdown, but he's closing down bars, closing down certain businesses, but he is still saying that there is no shutdown. If states shut down and people are not able to go back to work, then people won't be able to pay their bills. Therefore, more aid would be needed to fund this crisis on the second time around. Another issue that I hope they address in the second stimulus check is the tsunami of evictions that's happening. So basically with the CARES Act, the first stimulus package, they delayed the eviction moratoriums, but that is expiring in a lot of states. It's basically going on a state-to-state basis. So there's around 28 million people across the country who are facing homelessness because of the states lifting their eviction moratoriums. Some states are actually extending the moratoriums, but not all. There's one story stuck out to me. This woman, Jackie Shahan, she was a cafeteria worker at a school and her job shut down because of school shut down. And she has 2 children with disabilities. She's a single mom, lost her job, and now she's on the brink of eviction July 25th. And she said something that stuck out to me. You can't expect people to not work and still pay their bills. If the state is making it so people can't work, they should help them. So if states are going to shut down, they're going to have to provide more aid, which means that a bigger stimulus package would be needed. So I know times are hard right now and it could be hard to know how to save and manage your money. I've made this video right over here that gives 6 strategies of how to manage and save your money. It's on my second channel, Why Send, so you could click that right now. Or if you want to watch second stimulus check updates, you could click this playlist down over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.